Okay, here's another song that we learned over in Hungary, but it's I think pretty popular in this country. I don't know if you know it, but I'm not sure that we know it either. But we will try it. It goes. Is it in G? Everything we do is in G, or else we just don't do it. It goes. Lord, I lift your name on high. Glad to sing your praises. I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad you came to save us. You came from heaven to earth to show the way, from the earth to a cross, my debt to pay. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky, Lord, I lift your name on high. How many of you guys know that? A lot of you. How many of you don't? Okay, you'll learn real quick. I know you're quick learners. The important part, the part that I most like, there's a tendency now in a lot of praise courses for us to talk about how we feel about God, which is all fine and dandy. I think it's good to feel good about God, but that's not what really makes the difference in our lives. What really makes the difference is how God feels about us. C.S. Lewis was once, a guy said, they were talking, and C.S. Lewis said, well, what do you think the most important thing in the world is? And he said, well, I think what we think about God is the most important thing in the world. And Lewis said, well, I think you're on the right track, but I don't think that is exactly the most important thing in the world. The most important thing in the world is, what does God think of us? And I'll tell you what, if God did not love us, then all the warm feelings we could generate and all the deep devotion that we could stir up within ourselves wouldn't make one bit of difference. That there is no righteousness that we can conjure up of ourselves that is going to make us spiritually alive. The only reason that any of us have any hope of any real vital spirituality is because of the way that God feels about us. And if you have any questions about the way God feels about you, just go read the Gospels, because he's made it very clear in the person Christ how he feels about you. There's nothing God wants more than to love you and have you let him do that. And that's why the second half of this course is the part that I particularly like. I think it's great to have good feelings toward God, but I think that it is saving that God has good feelings towards us. So the second part of this song goes, you guys that know it, sing with me. It goes, you came from heaven to earth to show the way, from the earth to the cross, my debt to pay. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky, Lord, I lift your name on high. Okay, those of you who don't know it, just join in, you'll get it. Here we go. You came from heaven to earth to show the way, from the earth to the cross, my debt to pay. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky, Lord, I lift your name on high. Okay, the whole thing, let's try it. Lord, I lift your name on high. How I love to sing your praises. I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad you came to save us. I'm so glad you came to save us. You came from heaven to earth to show the way, from the earth to the cross, my debt to pay. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky, Lord, I lift your name on high. One more time on that chorus. You came from heaven to earth to show the way, from the earth to the cross, my debt to pay. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky. Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I lift your name on